Hello everyone, welcome to Homeschool Autism Life. My name is Jamie. Today's video I wanted to share a poem that I kind of came across on Facebook. It didn't really have an author's name, and it was just something that I talk about mindset on this channel all the time, specifically about how we can view our lives as homeschool parents, but also as special needs parents, and wanting to really highlight the joys. Yes, there's hardship. Yes, there's really hard days. Yes, there's things that we have to carry and continue to carry. But when we have the right mindset, it makes those hardships less of a struggle. We carry them with an understanding. And so I'm going to read the poem and then I will chat about it. So it says, "What a privilege to be tired from the work you once begged God for." It said universe, but I changed it because, yeah. What a privilege to be tired from the work you once begged God for. What a privilege to feel overwhelmed by growth you used to dream about. What a privilege to be challenged by a life you created on purpose. And what a privilege to outgrow things you used to settle for. And not all of that rings true for me, and I'm sure for some of you, you might look at that and go, well, I didn't build this life on purpose. In some ways, I think nobody expects to have a child with special needs, and you didn't purposely plan for that, but I think the sentiment still makes sense. I remember being somebody who was so lonely. I didn't get married until I was 26. And I sat in that time space wondering when my life was going to start. My family had moved way down south to Washington State, and my sister had moved away from me as well. And I was stuck in this little small town because I don't drive. And I was just waiting for life to happen. Not entirely. I did do some painting and I wrote some books, and that was my therapy over my childhood and stuff. But I was very lonely, and I was praying for the life that I have now. And sometimes it's really good to look back and go, wait a minute, yeah, I did want a family, and I did want to see what my life would look like as a family. Sorry. Sneeze. I begged God for this. And yes, I am tired because I have a special needs son who doesn't fall asleep until 2 in the morning, 3 sometimes. And that makes me tired. And sometimes, when he throws Orbeez in my washing machine, I'm like, oh my goodness, at 1 o'clock in the morning. Or, the kids are always going, he's throwing stuff in our room, or he got a hold of our candy or our chocolates, and you can get tired. But I also have to remember that I asked God for this perfectly imperfect family, and every time I think in that way, then those days and those frustrations seem relatively small. So, what a privilege to find or to feel overwhelmed by growth you used to dream about. Again, I dreamt about being a mom, and yeah, you do get overwhelmed because you're like, I don't know if I'm doing this right, or if I'm missing something vital, or I'm forgetting something, or yeah, it is a privilege to get to do that. And then when you're kids turn into teenagers and you're like, oh my goodness, like the emotional overwhelm and stuff. And I lost my mom when I was 16, and my siblings didn't have her because I was the oldest when they were teenagers and stuff. And again, that idea of I am privileged to be here and to be overwhelmed by my girls' emotional states. it's such a wonderful thing to place yourself in that mindset where you're like, no, I have a really good life. What a privilege to be challenged by a life you created on purpose. And when I read that, I'm thinking, I purposely had my children. Did I expect a special needs child? No. But at the same time, I did desperately want him. I was so thrilled with being pregnant and expecting, and he has been a joy despite the hardships, despite the things that have happened, the traumas that he has suffered, that we have suffered alongside. He is still a joy, and there isn't a moment where I wish he was not here. And so it is a privilege because I purposely brought him into the world, and God just blessed me with a soul that needs extra special love and care. What a privilege to outgrow the things you used to settle for. And I think that this one is a little harder for me to be like, yeah, I feel that one. But at the same time, it is true that you sometimes get in this mindset of, I'm moving through the motions of all of the things that I'm doing, and then you realize, poof, they're gone. So when your kids are really small, you are tired and exhausted, and you're like, oh my goodness, I don't have energy to wipe all the bums and get them all dressed and whatever. But we've outgrown that stage. We've outgrown that stage. And what a privilege it is. Again, I'm alive still. I outlived my mother by almost 10 years. I'm almost 10 years older than she was when she died, which is an insane thing to say. But I got to outlive that. I got to outgrow that. And my kids are in this different season that I will be blessed to have that my mother never did. So I just wanted to share this message because it was something that kind of hit me in the heart and in the soul, because yeah, it is easy for us to get down when you're feeling tired and overwhelmed and challenged, and it's a struggle to realize that, oh my goodness, yeah, this was the life that I asked for. This is the life that I wanted. Yes, things have changed differently. It wasn't, my initial plan was I was going to be a wild artist and I was going to sell my paintings and stuff. And that life, I can't imagine giving up the life I have for that one. So mindset is everything. And when you have everything in the proper perspective, because God has blessed you with the things he's blessed you, there's nothing better than that. So I hope that this has been an encouragement to you. Thank you for everyone who's been sending me messages saying that I have encouraged them. That is the point and the purpose of this channel. And so I'm thankful that it is actually working and it's having an impact. So God bless you all, and we will see you next time.